Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bang on Sales show. My name is Mark Banks, and today I'm actually very excited about today's guest. She's somebody who I first spotted on a few YouTube videos last year, and she actually inspired some of the things I talk about with sales sprints. As a little bit of an introduction, I thought I'd just read a couple of quick lines from her LinkedIn profile. So, my guest is the founder of Sway, and this is a Sales with Agile system, which has helped many sales teams worldwide to increase business profit. And in fact, her systems have contributed $17 million of secured business. So she's on a mission as well to change sales fundamentally, but I'll let her speak for herself. So my guest today is Marina Alex. Welcome, Marina. How are you doing?
Hey everybody. Hi Mark, how are you? Thank you for
Mm.
inviting me. And I
Yeah,
will
very
I
welcome.
will add a couple of words.
Yeah.
I am creator of Sway System and I'm helping companies around the world to be more agile. And I'm working with sales and executives to be more happy and to double their sales. I love when we have results and we double our sales because I came from sales world. I have more than 15 years, my personal sales career. I love salespeople, and I feel like this podcast and what we're doing with you, we will help salespeople be more happy because in our world, sales approach changed completely, and maybe
Mm.
today we will discuss about that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very curious what you said to me before we started recording about being on a
Mhm.
mission to change sales. I think about it almost as rehabilitating sales, or the perception of the sales profession. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, let me tell you a story.
Mm.
My father, he was a general, and my mother, she was a teacher. And when I came to them and I was around 18 or 19, and I told them, look, I'm going to work in sales. And my
Mm.
father, he was shocked because he asked me what I'm going to say to my friends that my daughter is salesperson. He was so disappointed because I don't know how about now, but 20 years ago, it was something bad to be in sales, and only not educated people decided to work in sales. I mean, nobody respect this work, but I feel like it's time to help to create some recognition and respectfulness to this work. Because do you know any businesses without sales? For example, me, I don't. But I know that many departments, they hate sales. Everybody, oh, we don't like our sales department. But oh my gosh, how it's possible if because of sales you have this job? And I have a mission to change it first because I love sales. I really do. But I feel like we have to change completely our sales approach. And this is what I'm doing with many companies when we create agile sales way of selling.
That's great. That's great. And I think that a lot of business leaders and even sales leaders or salespeople generally have a bit of an outdated perception of what sales is or what it should be. Perhaps this segues nicely into what we were going to discuss about sway, about agile, and so on. But
Mm-hmm.
well, what do you think? I mean, do you think, and do you see this in your work with your clients that there's this sort of out of date view of what sales is?
For sure, because for some people, it's just numbers like, okay, how many meetings did you have with your clients? How many calls did you have? Oh my gosh, it's a little old style
Yeah.
because we have a marketing, right? And we have completely different sales approach right now. We have
Mhm.
completely different clients who sometimes they know more than our salespeople. I mean, the world changed completely, but I see again and again in different countries, in different cultures, the same situation when salespeople, they have a plan. How many meetings do they need to have? How many calls? I mean, it's how many emails? But it doesn't work anymore. We have to change it for sure. There are no clear definition of sales. Plus, I think, and I see it really, 90% of companies, they are struggling with sales right now, and they don't understand why. They just call me and say, Marina, we don't achieve our sales targets. We do exactly what we did before, but it doesn't work. For sure, it doesn't work because world changed completely, and everything what you knew yesterday doesn't work today, and we have to be able to adapt for all changes and change our selling way completely. And one more problem, if we start to talk about some problems, and maybe you will add something because you're from sales, it's silo between departments. We have completely misunderstanding between sales and marketing. And sometimes they share responsibility for results between each other. For example, marketing, maybe you know those stories. Okay, we did great job. It's sales fault. They didn't answer for calls, or they didn't work with our leads. And salespeople, they say completely different. Like they didn't give us good leads. They didn't
Leads
give
are bad.
us
Yeah.
yeah. And it's always back and forward, back and forth. That's why in Sway system you can find a canvas session where salespeople and marketing, they go in one room together and they try to understand together how they're going to achieve sales goals. Because the problem here is, I mean, we have many problems, but one of them, we have different KPIs in marketing and sales. Maybe, did you have the same problems in your career?
It's
What
funny.
about your relationship between sales and marketing?
Oh, well, yeah. And sometimes you don't have any kind of marketing support. It depends on the
Yeah,
size and structure of the
yeah, yeah,
business.
yeah, yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, we know that there's a problem with the system at the moment. So, marketing have to generate a certain number of MQLs or marketing
Yeah,
qualified leads. And this can sometimes incentivize the wrong type of behavior because it's all about volume. How many can we produce? The same way that with sales, it's how many calls did you make,
yeah, yeah.
send, and so on. So, any marketing team can slap together a landing page and an ebook or a lead magnet to
Yeah.
get people to fill in a form. But are
Mm-hmm.
those people, where are they in their buying cycle? Are they actually
Exactly.
having a conversation at that stage? Maybe we need to take a different approach, educate them, and so on. But yeah, I suppose in a way that's a different conversation. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get it completely.
But
So
maybe I will sound a little revolutionary. I don't know how to say it, maybe
yeah,
like a
yeah.
revolution.
Hmm.
But I'm not sure if I believe in next 20 years in sales department anymore. I mean, it worked last 200 years and it was great. We had sales department. It was excellent. They sold. But now in the future, it will be mixed with sales people, marketing and IT people, and data analytics as well as a one unit. That's why I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if I believe in separate sales department anymore with individual KPIs. But maybe I'm too revolutionary. But I don't know.
I think that this is just naturally the way that things are evolving. I see it as an evolution rather than a revolution. I think for
Yeah,
some
maybe
businesses,
evolution. Yeah,
yeah, buyers, the way, and even as consumers, whether it's B2B, B2C, we
yeah,
make decisions differently to how we did even 5 years ago, especially
yeah,
25, 35 years ago,
yeah,
which is how outdated some businesses are with how they operate with the sales and marketing. So if you imagine at a certain point, the buyers would need to speak to a salesperson to get the information that they need to understand,
yeah,
even to understand the challenges that they're facing and be able to kind of decode them and make sense of them. But now we have content online, we have peer communities, we have LinkedIn, we have YouTube videos, we have podcasts like this, right? So by the time a salesperson actually should probably be speaking to somebody, they're really just facilitating that buying process. Would you agree with that rather than trying to
yes,
convincing them and pushing them?
yes, exactly. But Mark, how many new books do you know, or new systems which really help to understand the situation and give some advices or ideas or approaches how to sell differently? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't see a lot of new information. Like we know, okay, classic sales doesn't work anymore like it was before. We
Mhm.
know that our clients, they changed their behavior completely. But do we have a lot of I don't know, information? What should we do differently? This is the question. And I think that's why many salespeople, they're struggling because they still have education in university, how to sell in old style way, but in reality nothing work, and it could be very stressful.
Yeah, yeah. Two book recommendations for you, Marina, and
Yes,
for our
please.
audience as
Yeah.
well. Tech Powered Sales is great by Justin Michael and Tony Hughes, and
Mm-hmm.
also Marketing Led Growth by Nelson. I'm probably going to mispronounce his name, Gillat, Nelson Gillat.
You will write under this podcast, right? And we can download it.
Yeah, I'll do that actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, it's great. It means that people are looking for this information, and it's great.
Yeah.
But again, for example, the second very hot topic, it's about KPIs. Like in your world, in my world, we had a fixed small salary, right? Plus percentage. And now we have to change it a little. And there are several ways of doing that. For example, when we start Agile transformation, because I'm from Agile world, and Agile, it's special way of selling, and it's special way of processes and structure of organization. We're not going to talk today about Agile, but anyway, you can Google it. And Agile sales, it's about cross-functional team when you have different people in one team. Anyway, to come back to KPIs, when you create a team like a startup, like entrepreneurs, even if you're a big organization or if you're a small organization, you have a team. You don't need a sales department separately anymore. You have a team. You have IT people, you have marketers, you have pre-sale, you have sale, for example, somebody else. Okay. But the question is what we should do with team motivation, because teamwork, when you have to create some team motivation. That's why the second way of KPIs, when you have your the same motivation which you had before, but you add team motivation. What does it mean? For example, Mark, we are in the same team, you and I, and we have my agile cat, Luna, and she's an IT person, for example. And you have your fix and your percentage. For example, you spend in this company 20 years. I just came to this company. I have different motivation for some reasons, for example. But if you, me, and Luna, we will achieve our 100% as a team, or 120, for example, we will have extra bonus for everybody. For example, you will get, like, we will have a 5% from profit, for example. Yeah. And everybody will get this money. This is second type of motivation. And future motivation will be team motivation, when everybody will have an equal bonus when they achieve big results. Does this make sense? For example, if I had a lot of, case studies around the world, and the most successful when we double our sales, it was when we had team motivation, when we had a bonus from profit. And I love this type of bonus system, when you can share some percentage from profit, because in this case, your teams will work for profit, not for just sales. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
It's long-term. It's very healthy for organization.
Do you think that that's in the best interest of the customer as well? Because it's not just about driving deal after deal, anything to get it.
Exactly. And in this, yes, you're right. And in this case, our salespeople, their motivation not just take money and forget about customers, their motivation to have customers as long as possible. And this is different value approach. When you try to give value for your customers, it's completely different than classic sales, when you need to take money from your customers. And now you're thinking, okay, if in classic sales, we pushed our clients, we talked 80% and 20% our client talked, right? Our job was to manipulate by and make sales happen. In Agile world, in Agile sales, we are listening our customers. We try to understand their needs and give them even more. We are asking questions. We have a lot of feedback from our customers. We communicate with them differently. Imagine a situation in B2B, in big bank, for example, you will send a survey and you will ask your B2B clients from 1 to 10, how are you happy to work with us? Imagine reaction of them, first of all, and your bosses, who will be shocked that you ask such strange questions. they should be happy to work with you, because if they're happy, they will work with you more and more, and they will give you feedback what you need to improve to help them to stay longer. And it's completely different mindset, unfortunately. That's why we have to change mindset of salespeople.
Well, salespeople and lead, I mean, people at all levels of the business or the organization,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because what you're talking about is far more than just a sales methodology, right? This
Oh,
is
yeah.
overhauling the entire structure of the business.
For sure,
Yeah.
because we have a lack of communication between
Mhm.
head of sales and head of marketing department, and
Right.
then because of that, we have lack of communication between real salespeople and real marketers, because
Mhm.
their bosses don't communicate. For sure, that's why I work with executives, and I believe that we have to change executives first, and then change a whole organization. But
Mhm.
again, in classic structure, we have like in the top of organization, you have stakeholders, you have executives, then you have middle management, you have employees, and then you have client, right? And your employees, they're talking with your client, and then they sell something and money goes up,
Mhm.
right? This is classic structure of organization. In real world, to be survive in our crazy world, we have to change everything. Our boss is client. We have to put in the first. We have everybody in the company should understand who is our customer. And I have a funny story for you. In one American organization, when we made $10 million gross margin dollars per extra because of Agile for 1 year, we had a meeting between sales and marketers. It was Canvas session in Sway. You can find it. But we asked our marketers, like, look, why you put a lot of money to advertise in Instagram or TikTok and all our pictures of our clients in our social media very young, if our clients are 65 years plus, because it was jewelry, old company, they sold jewelry.
Mhm.
But marketers, they didn't even know who is their customers, because so they thought that, okay, we need to have a beautiful picture of young lady. But for customers who spent 20 years with this company and they're 65, 75, it didn't work. They didn't have even Instagram. That's why it is one of thousands examples when people, they don't, employees, marketers, sales, they don't understand who's their customers. But sales, probably they understand because they communicate with them every day. They know
Mhm.
exactly, like in call center, people know customers, and then you go in other departments, and if you ask buyers, planners, for example, they have no idea who's their real customers.
Mhm.
And when we have as a boss, because all companies, they know who's their main boss, right? But now it's time when we have to know our customers like a big, like our boss, who and all needs and all pains and all gains. That's why it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
and well, there needs to be that channel for that to feed back into the business through sales because they're
Exactly.
the pointy end, right? They're actually face to face.
Because we're
Yeah.
salespeople, they're closest people to our customers, and only they know feedback. But our job to help them to be credit delivery system, fast delivery system from what our client told us, and how we deliver this information in different departments, in IT department, for example.
You might like what Chris Walker at Refine Labs says. He says, you know, salespeople are very smart. They will know over time. They will know intuitively which clients to
Yeah,
go after, which deals to chase, because they'll know the based on what's being said, what the feedback is. And I almost liken it to this is just off the top of my head, but it's like water follows the path of least resistance. And salespeople
exactly.
are like water. They're going to go after
E-
the
Exactly.
flowing
But
through.
if you
Yeah.
give them a mission to help to understand our customers and help them to be happy with our product, they will achieve this mission. But the
Mhm.
problem is that even if sales department really understand what is going on with our customers, other departments, they don't communicate with salespeople. They don't like them for some reasons. I still don't understand why, but sometimes, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's
Sometimes.
why the problem is for us and challenge to help to break those silos and create a communication, trust between departments and common goals. Because in many companies, they have completely separate goals. completely separate KPIs and just impossible to create a communication. I mean, there are so many things to work with.
Yeah. So, what does the role of, and I guess this may vary between organizations, but what does the role of the salesperson look like within that cross-functional, sway unit or team or sprint? Are they at that point a full cycle salesperson? So they're more like a customer success manager. Like, is there a handover or a cutoff point where
It
that gets
depends of, yeah, it's a good question. It depends of business and industry, right? But I would say that this person in the cross-functional team, first of all, it's voice of customers, because we have skills to communicate with customers. And for example, IT people, they don't have those skills. We developed those skills 300 years, right? That's why, first of all, it's voice of our customers and communicator between company and customers. The second thing, it's about person who really wants to help and understands needs our customers and make it very, very fast. Because to be able to be on the market right now, companies should make very quickly decisions. Yeah. And if your customers don't eat burgers anymore, you need to give them what they really want. You need to understand and change your system altogether. That's why it's about love. When you love your customers, when you try to do everything to make them happy. And imagine, Mark, when you communicate, when you decided to buy anything and you see a sales who really want to make you happy, you will be probably a fan of this organization, right? Because this person doesn't want to sell you anything. He or she wants to make you happy. It's amazing. For sure, I will be a huge fan of this organization. You either, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I love this because this is what I say about salespeople need to become more like facilitators. I mean, I said this a minute ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's what you're talking about, right? They're bridging the gap. They're the bridge between the client and the organization. Yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, because for example, in IT company we have different problem when salespeople, because they want to earn money only, they sell something from IT perspective that it's just impossible to deliver, and they took money, and then these customers should go to IT department, and IT people like, oh my gosh, it's just impossible, and customers are disappointed, IT people are disappointed, but our salesperson tried to sell somebody else something else which never be delivered, and it's huge problem for long-term development of organization.
Yeah.
And yeah,
where do you see the most resistance, or where are the biggest challenges for an organization to adopt agile sales or to operate cross-functionally? Is it resistance at the senior leadership level?
Executives, because they love, sometimes unfortunately, they love their silo. They love to live in big rooms, far from each other, and see each other only each Tuesday in very strange meeting, 3 hours, and discuss about something not important. But you know, the biggest challenge, because I work with them, biggest challenge when I try to explain them that they have to change themselves also, and they don't need to be managers and command and control anymore. They have to go and communicate with customers. And I will tell you a story. It was a huge bank, very well known, and we worked with executives, and we created cross-functional teams. And cross-functional teams, they manage themselves. You don't need to manage them. They're self-management people. That's why executives, they had a lot of time, and I invited them to go and communicate with customers. Oh my gosh, they had so much resistance, like, Marina, why should I go to and talk with them? It's not my job, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I told them about Nike, head of Nike, you know him? He always communicated with them. Anyway, with the people. Anyway, I put a lot of energy to make it happen, and we came to a place where we had a lot of customers. And I remember, like, one executive, he was like, I'm sorry, may I ask a question? And it was a woman, and yeah, sure. And they start ask questions to customers. And then they came back to their rooms and they told me, Marina, it was completely different what I expected. I really forgot about them. I didn't communicate with the real people 20 years. Oh my gosh, we have changed everything. And they had a lot of energy because they realized what they have to change in whole organization to be able to make our customers happy. That's why 50% of time of our executives, they have to be in near real customers or to understand what is going on the market, and 50% to be leaders and help their people be better and stronger and smarter. There are no time for command and control anymore. But this is a different topic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what more can I add? Yeah, there's so many different directions we could go from there.
But you and I, yeah, we can help our people who are listening us right now. We can help you to have a first step how you can help your marketers, marketing and sales department be together. We will share a link for Canvas, and you just print this Canvas and work together and try to answer for all questions, Sway Canvas, and ask your salespeople and marketing people as a one unit what we should do together to make things happen, and just help them to have these discussions. I have one more story very quickly for you. One day we had this kind of a session, and I invited sales department and marketing department. And they came and they saw each other and like, Marina, we see each other first time. And I asked them, is it new department? And they told me, no, we work 7 years. We just didn't see them. Oh my gosh, you work in the same organization and you've never seen faces, marketing and sales people. Imagine, it's a huge problem. That's why if you have the same, just print this canvas, invite them in the room and help them to have this dialogue, to buy some snacks, help them feel safe and start to talk with each other.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you actually, what would you recommend as some early steps that somebody can take to start that process? And also, who should be, well, I suppose who should be doing it isn't necessarily the same as who will be doing it.
It depends on organization. Again, some heroes, they're listening us right now, right? And they're maybe not consultants yet, but they want to change their organizations. Right. And first step, you can be this person, this first person who will help create trust and communication between sales and marketing department. This is first step. We will share with you Canvas and how to run this Canvas session. It will be for free, and a Sway guide, which you can read. But you can be the first person who will help them to start dialogue. And you should be very brave, because you will have, believe me, a lot of resistance. It will be first step.
And by the way, the Sway guide is fantastic. I've actually shared it with a few people this year. So yeah, no, it's really, really good stuff. And I'll put the link to all of this in the for sure.
Yeah, because we have a mission and I have a mission to help organization to be survive. And to be survive, you need to change your sales people and help them be happy. Because I always ask, I really measure happiness in organization, in sales department, and I always ask, okay, if you are not happy, how you're going to make happy our customers? And we work with happiness of our employees first. And imagine, I'm a person who loves money. I came from sales world. I love numbers. I measure everything, but I measure happiness of employees first.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we are mammals, right? And we can detect when somebody isn't happy. If a salesperson comes to you,
we feel it.
If they're tense, if they're stressed, you can tell if someone is not enjoying what they're doing, and if there's that something, and that then influences the end result. So
exactly.
So
when you go to buy ice cream, you feel this person who put ice cream in your corn, is she happy or she doesn't? And it's impact you. It's impact on the brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's why we need happy salespeople.
Yeah.
But how many how many executives are thinking about happiness of their salespeople? They think, okay, you have money and that's it. It's everything what you need. No, money, it's not the biggest motivation for people, unfortunately. They want to create something big for the company. They want to be important. They want to have a mission. I mean, it's not about money only, but unfortunately, people think that you need to give people money and that's it, especially in sales world. Do you agree with that? Or maybe not.
Yeah, it's really interesting because on the surface, you can call this sway. You say this is about sales, but it affects so much because we're talking about employee happiness, which is a hot topic, employee well-being, everybody talks about. We're talking about customer centricity, which is, everybody wants to be customer centric. Again, that's something where people talk a lot about it, but they don't walk the walk. And also, I would say that, we are in or going into a recession. And, there may be the next couple of years are probably going to be quite tough for a lot of businesses. And so I think that cross-functional teams being more organized and maybe leveraging some technology that will enable that. I mean, you've said it yourself. You've doubled profits in businesses.
We double a lot around the world. And we, again, it's not our topic, but when we applied Sway in healthcare, we saved lives because we improved communication between different doctors. In one sprint, we saved 6 more lives. Oh, wow. I mean, it's amazing because, again, everything is about communication. And if you ask me, Marina, what is the biggest problem which business needs to fix in our organization, I would say communication between people, communication and trust. It's and when you fix it, and then you will help your customers give continuous feedback, and people will listen in your organization feedback, you will double your income and your profit. But again, it's not about money first. It's about trust, communication between customers, between your employees, and then money as a feedback that you're doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So you're wow. So you're making the money, you're saving lives, you're like a superhero.
I'm a happy person, I'm just blessed.
Satisfaction, right? Yeah,
because I have a mission and it drives me. I mean, not money drives me, I work 12 hours per day, not for money, for mission, and I try to change the world. And I believe that if all employees will do the same in your business and have this entrepreneur mindset, for sure you will double your income and profit.
Yeah, but as I was going to say, that the money is the end result, or is just one outcome from that, or a side effect.
Yeah.
And really, that line of thinking is baked into the KPIs or the compensation that you're talking about, where it's more about the team as a whole. Let's do the best we can for the customer and for each other, and then the money will naturally follow as a byproduct of that. So
exactly, but in our sales world, money first is first all the time. Like, this is money, this is your sales plan, make it happen. If not, we will say goodbye to you. You will lose your job, and you're always afraid to lose your job, and you run with this face to your customers and try to sell them something. I mean, unfortunately, it's still going in many countries. I mean,
it is,
but
I would say that it's the norm. It's not the exception. That's more common than anything else. Yeah.
But next 10 years, this situation will change dramatically, and companies who will not change these cultures in their companies, unfortunately, they will just gone from the market, and they should understand that. But hopefully, everybody who are listening us right now, you will have completely different future in your organization.
Absolutely. Listen, Marina, thank you so much for today. You have validated so much of what I think, what I talk about, and so on. So I guess our audience would probably enjoy a little bit more debate and disagreement, but we're definitely on the same page. So it's fantastic. You're doing great work.
So, and we would be happy to receive feedback under this podcast, and just tell us from 1 to 10, how did you like this podcast, and what you would suggest us to improve next time? Because this is Agile mindset. We did it for you, and we want you to give us feedback and say, oh my gosh, I wasn't happy for 10, but I would love to have next time another guest or another topic, and we will make it for you. It's about
helping me improve the show as well. Wow.
Yeah,
Multi
it will be the
talent.
best
Yeah.
show because Mark has a goal. He's going to have the best show about sales around the world, right, Mark?
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing, Marina. Thank you. So yeah, thanks to you and Luna, Agile Cat, for
Yeah,
coming
Agile
on.
Cat, you see, she's very proactive, usually, not today.
Yeah, no, maybe not today. Yeah.
Mhm.
Could you just tell people where they can find you, where they can connect with you?
You can find me in LinkedIn, and you can find all information which we mentioned today under this podcast, right?
Yeah.
And just try to change things, just try to be proactive. Try
Hmm.
to do something that you never did before. One
Yeah.
day, when my mentor, he's wonderful mentor, and he gave me a magnet to my fridge, and it was something like, every day do something that scares you. And when
Yeah.
I open my fridge, I always try to understand what I'm going to do today that will scare me. And I have many things which scares me, but I try to do it and develop my personality and my skills.
That's brilliant. Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. Yeah. So everything will be under
And two
the
books,
description, and
right?
yeah, the two books. I've got that. I've got
Mm-hmm.
that. You're keeping me on track here. I know. I like it. Now, thanks, Marina.
Thanks.
We have to do this again soon, but yeah,
We will, but when we receive feedback from our customers, we will know which
absolutely.
topics they would love to discuss more, because there are so many. I mean, I have a huge experience. Last 8 years, I'm doing that around the world, and I
Hmm.
would be happy to share something else with you.
Excellent. Okay,
Mhm.
I'll hold you for that. All right, great. I'll see you soon then. Thank you. Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.